Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, India reiterated its support for an early and peaceful resolution of the conflict through dialogue and diplomacy, highlighting India's stand at the UN Security Council open debate on the situation in the West Asia. Permanent representative of India to the United Nations, P. Harish, said that India is ready to do more for the Palestinian people, while stressing upon immediate release of all hostages from the captivity of Hamas.
The people of Palestine are in dire need of humanitarian assistance. We have been calling for safe, timely, and unimpeded humanitarian supply to the affected population. As we have repeatedly demonstrated in the past, India stands ready to do more for the Palestinian people. We are committed to carrying out human-centric projects for the people of Palestine in diverse sectors. Our thrust is on projects that have a tangible and lasting impact on the daily lives of the people. The terror attacks in Israel on 7th October were shocking, and they deserve our unequivocal condemnation. There can be no justification for terrorism and hostage-taking. India has a long-standing and uncompromising position against terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. At this juncture, I reiterate India's call for an immediate release of all hostages and a ceasefire.
And we have Jessica Taneja joining us for more on this. Well, Jessica, as the UN Security Council debated West Asia situation, could you get us the highlights?
You heard the permanent representative of India to the United Nations say categorically that while India would want to see a peaceful resolution to the current crisis in West Asia, it would also want aid to continue and for hostilities to end to the extent that there is a ceasefire and, of course, hostages are returned from the captivity of Hamas. And this has been a consistent position of India ever since the escalation took place in West Asia after Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th. And consistent with that, there have been many United Nations General Assembly sessions where India has reiterated the stance that only dialogue and diplomacy will solve the crisis. No solutions are found in the battlefield that reverberates across both the crisis in Eurasia as well as West Asia. Now, if you read through the statement, the entire statement that the permanent representative of India to the United Nations gave, he also very categorically mentioned that India has been consistent in terms of providing aid to Gaza. And so far, more than $127 million have been given to relief agencies, out of which approximately $37 million was given to UNRWA, which is UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Work Agency. Now, that agency has currently been banned by the Israeli parliament in the last 2 days with two crucial bills that limit its operations. So now as the situation gets dire across West Asia, especially in the Gaza region, you saw the bombing of Beit Lahia on Tuesday that killed more than 90 people and included more than 25 children. There are essential medicines that are required, food supplies, water, sanitation facilities, and all of that right now is not being made available to the refugees who are currently housed in makeshift camps and tents and relief centers.
Right, Jessica, as you mentioned, agencies have reacted strongly to the Israeli move to ban the UN Palestinian Aid Agency. What could be the implications of the new Israeli laws banning UNRWA, as UN Security Council also warned against attempts to dismantle UNRWA?
The United Nations Relief and Work Agency, Lipakshi, had started back in 1948, where it had just about 750,000 refugees back then, when the situation had worsened. But currently, if you look at the situation on how it's operating, the United Nations Relief Work Agency has said that it is close to 2 million refugees now after the crisis has worsened in West Asia, and that it would require the consistency of supply that it was being allowed earlier. Now, with this ban and winter approaching, things could get really difficult at this point to aid and provide aid, especially to refugees who have been waiting for the longest time for some food supply or medicines, as the world across the globe is sending aid to Gaza through this agency. So the task becomes critical. On top of that, there are no strict restrictions at this moment on them for the next 3 months, but there is pressure from not just the West, but also countries like South Korea and Japan, who have come out and condemned this move by the Israeli parliament, allowing those two laws to limit the operations of an agency that has been operating for more than 4 decades, in the region.
All right. Thank you so much, Jessica, for all those details.